Hello 102ers. As I started scripting this video, I was about a full page in before I realized what I was saying was actually going to be more helpful next week rather than this week. Whoops. We can all make mistakes. In any case, look for that lovely bit of knowledge next week, including a special cameo in that last week. Ooh, the chills, the thrills, the excitement, right? Okay, now that we're through with that, let's chat about the material for this week, shall we? You know the drill. Scroll down, find the 102 Masterclass schedule right here. Click on the link, and then scroll all the way down to week 10, which is the beginning of Unit 4. You can see that there are 5 documents to review and 2 assignments to submit. Now, before anything else starts, you need to know something very important. I cannot accept the final paper late. The due date is Sunday, April 21st, 2024 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern. No exceptions, no extensions, no excuses. This will be the last week of the semester, and I will have to grade roughly 80 papers by the end of that week to submit for final class grades. If I'm late on my final grades, my department is late, my department is late, my campus is late, my campus is late, the school is late, and people don't necessarily like that. So you guys won't get in trouble because you'll be long gone. I'm going to take that hit, and that's not going to happen. So make sure you get them in there, okay? I can't accept anything past the due date, so no 2 or 3 or 4 days late, okay? No chance, no way, no how. Please don't put it off. I hate to see people get burned for extreme procrastination. Okay, now that we've covered that, let's jump right in and look at Argumentative Research Speech Overview, okay? This page outlines the requirements for the project. As you can see right here, we're going to start with saying that you need to have it between 5 and 8 minutes of a presentation. Do not panic. Trust me when I tell you this. 5 to 8 minutes when you're scripting your video out is very quick. There are so many times this semester that I think I'm killing it on time, and when I look down, I'm shocked to find out that I'm already 12 minutes in. Don't think 5 to 8 minutes is ridiculous because it will go so quickly you won't even realize it. I'm not even at the bottom of my first page yet, and I'm already at 3 minutes. So, don't worry. Anyway, anything under 5 minutes will lose you points. Anything grossly over 8 minutes will lose you points. By grossly over, I do not mean like 8 minutes and 30 seconds. That's fine. I'm not going to quibble over that. But if you're at 15 minutes or 20 minutes, that's a huge problem, okay? 5 to 8 minutes. There's a sweet spot here, folks, so hit it. You will be using this presentation to show what you found in your research paper. No, you will not be reading your research paper. This is not a Sunday afternoon in the children's section of the library where we sit cross-legged listening to whatever the librarian is choosing to use to entertain the kids, okay? You are presenting the highlights of your paper. Now, as you can see, the powers that be provided 5 bullet points for what to include in your presentation. As I will show you after we're through with all this, I don't necessarily expect you to go point by point, but you can mix and match with your own attitude and personality, okay? So obviously you need to illustrate what your topic is and sometimes how you decided on the topic. Is it related to your major? Not necessarily something that's, exciting, but hey, it happens. What are 3 or 4 of your major research questions? What is your thesis? Did your thesis change at any point? What was your claims, counter-arguments, rebuttal? What were some of the most interesting things you found? Were they shocking, disturbing, reassuring? These points will kind of keep you moving forward, and that's fantastic. One of the things I need you to understand is that we're talking about a presentation here, which means that you are trying to entertain as well as inform your audience. Think about my videos. Whether you connect to them or not, you know that I'm trying to make you chuckle with my break-in gifs or my stupid comments. When I do a PowerPoint, I always include visuals to break up the blocks of text because the audience doesn't want to be hammered by lines of text. They want to be entertained as they're learning something. That's why this section is so important, adding visuals. You can use a variety of techniques to keep your reader interested, but make sure to cite things. Again, I'll attach a sample and explain it next week, but just stay with me. Clip art and other pieces of information like pictures and graphs and charts, always helpful, but make sure that they actually connect to what is already on the slide. Use your best judgment to ensure that you're not being exploitative. For example, if you're speaking about drunk driving, you shouldn't even consider putting a bloody DUI accident crime scene photo on the slide. That is the quickest way to alienate your audience. Don't drop 300 photos on a single slide either. 1 or 2 tasteful pictures in the right locations speak volumes. This goes for stats and graphs as well. Remember to cite those stats and graphs, however. The key to everything is readability. If your audience cannot follow your ideas or everything is just so jumbled that it's confusing, your presentation will fall totally flat. So the rest of this Getting Started page kind of links to the exact same thing as what's coming next, but I wanted to just really review the idea of presentation and what's expected. Even though it's not on this page, I'll tell you right now that I'll expect roughly the same number of slides as I expected pages in your paper. A title slide, which would have been your title page. 7 to 8 content slides, which represent the 7 to 8 full pages of your paper. At least 1 references slide, which is a page, with all the material you use within the presentation of this information, and then the almighty any questions slide. So, at a minimum, I'll be expecting 10 slides. Since many of you skip these videos, I'll be sure to specify that very clearly in the announcement. Okay? Now, like I said, the next few pages here and back here are the exact same things. So it's just basically geared towards the ideas in general rather than just a specific oral presentation. So we'll see how these go, and we'll start off with how to begin your speech effectively. This takes care of the introductions and the attention getters. Honestly, for this presentation, you want to introduce yourself and the topic. Once you establish the basics, yes, you'll need something interesting to get started. I always prefer the shocking statement myself, which here is called the startling statement. But you might choose to use a third-person anecdote, right here, anecdote, or a historical review or a historical reference. It's really up to you and what you think your presentation will require. I will say that many students use the opening question, right here, quotation, to really nice effect. It makes the audience feel like they're part of the presentation rather than just an unwilling viewer. So once you get through this, we can go back and take a look at the organizing your argumentative research speech. And honestly, it's a bit of a waste of a page for me. You're going to organize your presentation the exact same way that you organized your paper. Introduction, background, argument points 1 through 3, counter arguments, rebuttals, conclusions, period. Once you get through that, you're done. I don't necessarily think that you need an entire page to explain that bit of common sense. So here it is anyway. You can take a look at it. Going back again, we have keeping our speech moving, transitions and signposts. And this is really exactly what we talked about last week with our Pennington Publishing blog. Try to say that 3 times fast, my friends. And its skeletal layout. How do you move from one area to another? Well, make sure that the transitions are chosen with forethought and make sure that they fit your purpose. You may not be able to explain the reasons why you think one word is better than another without some linguistics classes, but as most of you are native English speakers, you will know which word sounds right and which one doesn't. Put some thought into it. Finally, in citing your sources in a speech, and there it is, It's the same as it always was. If it's not your idea, you must cite it, now and forever. If you are presenting these supporting ideas in the speech, you can't necessarily spell out the in-text citation. So, take a look at how this does it. You can say, Colton Whitehead says in his book, The Underground Railroad, which is not terrible. You're still giving some sort of a citation. Or, you can do it even so much better by saying, Colson Whitehead, Pulitzer Prize winning author, says in his 2018 book, The Underground Railroad. Now we have author, title, year, background, everything in one. And just click on these or you can try buttons, and you can see exactly how they decided this might not be the worst idea. It's not bad at showing what you could be saying in the spoken word as you present your material. So I do think you should take a look at it a little bit further. Now that the theory is done, let's talk about brass tacks, shall we? Let's get into the assignments for the week. As you can see, we have 2 assignments this week. The research paper that we've spoken about ad nauseum and the outline for your speech. Now, first and foremost, the Unit 3 Argumentative research paper, hey, you've been working on this for weeks and weeks. You know what to do. You know what the direction and samples document looks like. You know where to find it. It's in every single announcement I have posted over the last month and a half. Be sure to submit this on time, as I will not be accepting it late at all. Be sure to have 7 full pages of cited text. Be sure to follow all the samples and directions, please. You should have been working on this for over a month. So if you've put it off, well, the chickens are coming home to roost, Bobby Boucher. Regardless, I have the sample and directions once again attached to the announcement in case you missed it on the first half dozen times I posted it. Remember, it's worth a full quarter of your final grade. It needs to be as perfect as you can make it, people. Then we have the Unit 4 speech outline. So clicking here, we have this traditional outline set up, which is what I want you to do. You're going to have to kind of almost script what you're going to talk about, which is not a bad idea. How do you go about doing it? Well, if you click on this link here, you'll get this lovely document. Now, this is not a problem because, I didn't actually create this one. I think it's pretty nice, though. I think it's pretty straightforward. But then again, I like hierarchical outlines. However, if you just kind of take out this direction and take out these prompts and put your own information in here, your own answers to the questions and so forth, you will find that you're literally writing the script for your paper, much like I do for these videos. So you're going to be doing this, and if you're planning ahead, hey, you know what? When you sit down to actually do your presentation, it's going to be pretty quick and easy. Fill in those blanks. I'll take a look at it after you submit it. And then once we get this back and forth complete, the actual construction and execution of the presentation with your visuals is actually quite easy. 2 weeks left, folks. Can you believe it? You've almost made it. For this week, get your paper perfect and submitted. That's your main goal. Next, do your outline. That will only help you. Once the submission is complete, then you can put your feet up and relax for a little bit, okay? You've earned it at least at this point. So, work hard, and I'll see you at the end of the week.